Good afternoon. Welcome back to the central office of Southern Phone-Mans Telecom. And we're making progress on this telephone. This again is the automatic electric Starlite telephone. This is Jerry and Sylvia's telephone from here in North Carolina. I've just gotten done reassembling the dial. This dial was just involved in a recondition. Not going to test it as of right now because obviously you've got the telephone still all taken apart. But it was oiled, and I can't get the camera to see it, but it was, you can see it. It does turn around on its own now. So it's been oiled. It's been reconditioned, oiled, recalibrated, adjusted to the correct speed. As for the rest of this unit, all that cooking grease was removed from this telephone. What you see at this point is the typical discoloration from ultraviolet rays. I got telephones here in this central office that have the same issue. That's just the nature of the beast. Also, if you remember the condition of this cord from the first video, you can see that it no longer has that caked-on cooking grease. That was taken care of. I've also taken care of that cord there. I've got it wrapped up to keep its shape. But that was also washed as well. So that will stay there for right now until I get the telephone put back together. The next thing that I have to do is, this is the network. All those screws there that you see are connection points. Those connection points still have to be cleaned. That's part of the service. Also, this is the inside of the base, and that had, this was absolutely covered in cooking grease as well. That was removed. The spade tips on the end of these leads were also cleaned. The wires were cleaned. This, at this point, is ready to eventually have everything put back on it. Again, we're just letting everything dry for right now. This is the wiring harness, and it's got the leads on it for the rotary dial, in addition to some other things. But all the plastics have been cleaned up. There was some mess that was on the underneath side of this as well. I'm just looking at something where that seam comes together, but at any rate, these plastics are clean and completed. I'm going to repeat one more time the story about this telephone. This telephone was brought to me by the customers, obviously. They bought a house that belonged to an elderly gentleman who's no longer with us. This telephone was left in the house. It was sitting, or will be sitting, on an alcove that is also in that house. The telephone will sit on the alcove, and the alcove also has a shelf underneath the telephone base part of it for a telephone book. which I think is pretty cool. So, at any rate, this telephone will be done shortly, and then that way we can get the telephone back to the customers, and they can enjoy it or do whatever it is they're going to do with it. But this telephone will look great once it reaches its final resting place, if you will. These automatic electric Starlights came in a couple of different variations. This is kind of automatic electric's answer to a Princess. I have a push-button wall version in here in the central office, and that's right there. It's just not the cleanest telephone in the world. Mine does operate, but that's a Starlite also. That one there was made by GTE / Western Automatic Electric. So I've had that a while, but they're a pretty cool telephone. I like the story behind this. I'm kind of nostalgic that way. At any rate, that's it in a nutshell. This is more or less a follow-up video. So, sites.google.com/sites/Southern Phone Man's Telecom, 252-229-6122. This is Southern Phone Man's Telecom from the central office. Thank you for watching.